Okay, so this is going to be a review, not the Enzo I did yesterday, the Mora I've never done, and the Esee camp lure. That's the one that I'm going to do the review on. If you guys like these videos, or if you want to see any more knives reviewed, I'll review them and I'll tell you about them and do the simple little tasks that they're that they could do. But like I said, the Enzo I did yesterday, love it. This knife is pretty good, and the sheath, I don't know if I really talked about too much about the sheath, but the sheath, I love the sheath. The sheath has great craftsman work on it. It's I love the sheath. Now with the Esee that I'm about to do a review for, not so much. I don't really like the sheath. It falls out. It's not, well, it didn't fall out there, but it didn't. The sheath isn't great. It's not bad, but it's not great. And then the Mora sheath, I like the sheath. It reminds me of Kydex. It's plastic, just like the Kydex. Holds it in nice and snug. It's got the whole, I mean, you've probably seen plenty of reviews on the Mora knife, or Mora knife, so to say. For 15 bucks, you cannot go wrong with this knife. I guess I'll do a little review on both and how they both stand up to each other. But the Mora knife, why not? Get it. It's cheap, it's affordable, and it's a great bushcraft / I'm going out to the woods to mess around knife. And you don't got to worry about it because it's pretty cheap, so you don't have to worry about beating the crap out of it. So, and here is all the sheaths that go with the knives, starting from the Mora to the right, to the Enzo, to the Esee. Fairly cheap, the most expensive, and decent. So we're gonna do the review on the Esee. Now, as much as I don't like the sheath, this is a great knife. It's got the Scandi grind. It's made in the USA, but I'm not too sure what the steel is. But it's still a very strong knife. I've done plenty of batoning with it already, and whittling sticks, making traps and whatnot. So let's get to the review now. Okay, so basically this is gonna be a garage view. I can't really go out and right now, and it's pretty cold where I am right now. So I'm just gonna do a couple little tasks that you would do to build a fire, get a fire started. Am I going to build that fire? No, I'm in the garage, but I will try to spark the fire. And this wood I got from my last review, so I'm a cheater. But it's been sitting outside, and it might take a little bit to spark the fire. But let's see what the Esee camp lure can do. I think it's the EV3. It's a beautiful knife. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. I think it's got micarta handles, so it's really good. So if it gets wet, you'll get more grip on it. So let's start with the batoning. I am going to baton through this. It's pretty strong. It's kind of frozen too, so I'm really putting the knife through the test. I wouldn't do this if it was this frozen, but it's been outside and wet, so. But let's just see. Whatever. Went through it still pretty well, and I could tell that it's got snow and pretty wet on the inside. But let's keep breaking it down like we're gonna build the fire. And I mean, it's breaking it down real well. I knew it would. It's got the Scandi grind. It's very sharp knife, very, very sharp. It makes feathers like you couldn't believe. But let's just keep breaking it down. Because if it's wet, I want, obviously, like I was saying in my other reviews, that you want the inside, because the inside should be, if your wood's not soaked, the inside should be decently dry to be able to start that fire. So, you know, if you put more sparks and heat up the wood, it will eventually catch. So, but I'm not in a dire need to get warm right now. But where I'm living, it's snowing pretty good. It's been snowing for the past 3 days, so, you know. But if I was trying to survive, we get a fire started. Get that piece, separate them so you know which ones you're working with. So, split this one in half, and it does a great job. I mean, it's going, it goes right through it. So, and it carves it a little bit off too. So, big old knot. So there's a knot in this one. I'm gonna try to go right through it. Look at that. That thing's gnarly. But you know, I'm doing a review. Nobody sponsors me. Nobody works for me. I bought all the knives. So, you know, if I ruin the knife, that's my money. But I want to do a review, an honest review, and you know, put it through the simple tasks that I can. Right through it. It went right through it. Bam! Right through it. And there's knot still there too, but this knife is unbelievable. This knife is good. If you're looking for a cheaper one than the Enzo, one that's kind of in between, they're about around the same price. I really like my Enzo, but it's not a Scandi grind. So everybody has their pet peeve. You know, every knife has its different tasks and whatnot, but for you know, more quality, the Enzo or the Esee does really well. I just wanted a new knife for a different use, so this one's really well too. So let's carve a little bit. We'll get this piece. All right. So I want to get that off. I'm just gonna work through it. And this knife is sharp. And to be honest, I might have sharpened this once since I've had it, and I've had it for about 6 months. I sharpened it once, so it stays really sharp. Let's see if I have any. I don't have any dings, folds, or anything in it. It's a very good cutter. Very good cutter. I mean, it's just throws the wood off. Cuts right through it. The power cuts. So we'll do some power cuts. So you know, you'd grab it, and if you wanted to make, man, I mean, that's just one power cut, and it went like nothing. Here's another. I mean, I could even just use that and use a 10-peg off of that. There, and then, you know, I already showed that one, but I mean, this knife is just amazing to work with. It really is. I love it. I like all my knives. Whether it's the Mora, and you know, the Mora, I know it's not a Mora one, but I'm gonna show you how the Mora cuts too. Regardless, the steel isn't that strong, is as strong as that, but this thing, I mean, this thing is just for the money and for the price. It's got a good feel. It's got a rubber handle. It's a beater, you know. It's just, I love the Mora. I love the Mora. I actually when I was looking for another knife too, I was like, man, I wish they had a Mora. And long and behold, Dick's Sporting Goods actually carries them. The Mora Companion. great knife. Pick it up, good starter knife. You know, if you're looking at this review, I'm sure you've seen the Mora. You've heard of it or something. But like I said, I'm not gonna say get this knife, get the Enzo. I'm just, hey, I just put up reviews and that's it. And hope you guys like them and it gives you a better outlook on which knife you want. Now there's tons of knives there. Why buy this one or any other one? My experience with this knife and all the other ones that I did a review on. Did a review on the CFK Hunter too. I can't complain. I can't complain about any of the knives. But this review is for y'all. So the key was split some down. Went through, got caught up on a knot. Tried this. This, I guess if it ignites a little bit, I'll throw some of that little stuff because this stuff is pretty wet. So, I mean, I'll be surprised if it does actually start. But I mean, if I had to, I'll start a little one. So we'll see. You got the little baby one. I don't want to get it real fine. I mean, that should be good. I don't want to start anything crazy. So let's do the feather stick. Let's see how that works. I'm sure, you know, it'll work great. So, like I said before, a hatful. I'll get a hatful. See how many. All right, so let's get the curls. Man, I mean that just shaves it. It's not the best surface. Let's just go straight on the ground. I mean, it does quick tasks of making curls, small curls, fine curls, big curls, just because of that Scandi grind, you know. They're the best cutters with the bushcraft and making fires. You can, I'm not saying that's a knife to get, but it definitely makes it a lot easier to make the fires, to build the fires, and to prep and to get them from, you know, all the different tasks that you need to do in the bush, not necessarily to survive. Obviously, you need to survive with making a fire and so you can boil your water and whatnot. But you know, it makes it a lot easier when you have the right tools to work with. And I'm pretty sure I could get that started with let's carve this down a little bit so I could go all the way. So but I mean, it's making real nice hairs. Love it. I love this knife, the Esee. And you know, in that little amount of time, I got a bunch of curls. I know I could get a fire with that. So let's put this to the side, and I'll show you also the Mora. The Mora, amazing at making curls, amazing. Let's go with this right here. And when you want to make feathers, you want to get it decently straight. You don't want any curves in the wood, so you can get all the hairs together. But I mean, this thing, it just absolutely, it makes such fine curls, and it just slides like butter. Butter for 15 bucks. For 15 bucks. Butter. So, but if you got money and you want to, or even if you're on a budget, all the knives that I got, I'm on a budget. You best believe I'm on a budget. But they're well worth the money. Well worth the money. So trying to see. So I got the fire steel. Throws it. Bam! Thing is amazing because I mean, thing's amazing at throwing sparks. But what I like to do is every one that falls off, like the little, I'll try to spark it with that first, and then when it's lighting up, I'll start putting this in there, and then I'll add the rest of the firewood. So let's see if this wet wood will. There it is. Bam, son. So there's that. I'll put that there, and then I would add my stuff right away. Crisscross it, whatever. Now this wood was frozen, so I was able to make a fire with the frozen wood. It was frozen. So that just goes to show you that you need to take the right steps, the proper steps, and you'll be able to get that fire going. So literally it was the wood from yesterday, so all I did was just break it up real small and get that done. So I'm gonna put it out now. That about does it for review, but it's the Esee camp lure. I think they got a couple of them on the camp lure. I believe it's the EB3. So the only thing that was a big I'd buy the knife again, and you could always buy sheaths, but I did try to put it in the oven and soak it in oil. It didn't work. It didn't work. So I'll probably try to make like a Kydex one, but so about the end of the test, this is the one that we basically did the review on, the Esee camp lure. It's got it right there. Doesn't focus, but it's the Esee camp lure. And you know what's funny is that yesterday I was looking at Ray Mears. I was looking up some of his videos, and I actually saw him have a knife similar to the camp lure. Very similar. The handles are good. The micarta, I like them a lot. We did a little bit with the Mora, and the Mora, it's a nice knife. It's cheap. It's $15, maybe even 20, but whatever. This thing is outstanding for the price. Outstanding. And I know that they have a bunch more. They're raising their prices a little bit, but they still have these around. They still sell them. Like, I went to Cabela's. They sell them at Cabela's. Sorry, I said Dick's before. They sell them at Cabela's. Believe I got it for like $20 after tax or whatnot. But that was, it's a nice steal. It's a nice steal right there. And then the Enzo. I did the Enzo review yesterday. Beautiful knife. Beautiful. And I absolutely love this knife. Just got it like literally like maybe 3 days ago. This is the oh my. This is them together. Obviously they got different grinds. It's Scandi, and I think this is a full Vex. Not too sure. And I love the handles on this. Man, this thing is beautiful. In my opinion, because I don't do reviews because they send me knives. I do them myself. This one I believe is 103, and after tax it's probably like 110. This one goes for about 110, and after tax it's about like maybe 100 and $20. Not too much of a difference. Both of them are great knives, don't get me wrong. But if I were in a bind and I'd be like, oh man, I wanted a knife, I don't know which one to go for. In my opinion, and this is a Swedish knife, it's Sweden. I was looking at, I was trying to find reviews. There's not too many reviews on this one. So if you're looking for a knife and you come up, and it might say Enzo or Esee, you might want to check this one out too. It's the Enzo Elver 85. I reviewed it. There's not many reviews, but to be honest, I would lean towards I personally, that now that I have the two knives, I love this knife, but this is just a beautiful, nice, sharp D2 strong knife. It's smaller, but they also have the Trapper and whatnot. Enzo. I've never heard of it until I looked up. I was actually, it's a YouTube channel called DBK, Dutch Boy Knives. They review knives, and they were showing the Enzos, and I was like, what the heck is that? So I looked it up. I'm glad I did. This, I would definitely go with the Enzo, though. This one also, I love this knife too. So I got both of them. I'll use them till I die. If you take care of them, no problem. Love these two knives. This is cheaper. If I had the money, I might buy it as a beater. I might use it again. I'm 100% sure I'll use it again. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I have these two. I love this one. I'm going to use the hell out of this too, but this one I'm going to use. So all in all, the Esee Camp Lore is a very good knife. Does all the tasks that any other task can do, and it's fairly fairly affordable. More affordable than the other ones that, you know, the other YouTubers post up, and you look them up and they're about $200 to $300 to $400. So, you know, this one's really good knife. Sharp, great blade. Got the 90-degree spine on there for throwing sparks, like I showed you. Made a fire with it. Made the prep to get the fire started. And I love this knife too. Don't get me wrong. It sounds like I was knocking it, and you know, I wasn't. I was just telling you that I really like the Enzo. And you, I mean, not to knock it again, but I mean, you could look at the difference between the sheaths. That's my only, I guess that's why I kind of dislike it, because of the sheath. Weird, I know, but whatever. I still like this knife. I'm still going to use it. It's still going to be my favorite knife to bring out, but this one's just really, it's nice. Anyway, yeah, so the Esee Camp Lore EB3. Yeah, there you go. RB3. Sorry, guys. So, great knife. Great price. Great everything. So, Esee Camp Lore RB3. Thank you. If you like it, hit like. If you want to subscribe, and subscribe if you want to see what else. If you want to know how to build a fire or something, just let me know. I'll show you the little steps. So thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.